This is our final lesson in Unit 11-12, and we're looking at some stuff out of Box 12D. And what we want to do in these lessons is we want to be able to find the break-even point. And we're going to talk about what the break-even point is as we go through this. Specifically, we want to be able to solve problems that involve the intersection of two linear relations, or two lines. Okay? And these are the questions that you need to hand in as part of the assignment, as your unit mark for Unit 11-12. So let's take a look at the question that we're going to do here. Lisa has to choose between two contract jobs. Okay, she's out in the job market. She has been offered two jobs. She can only take one of them because these are going to run at the same time. Alliance Incorporated offers her a signing bonus of $30 and an hourly rate of $10 per hour. Best Industries offers an hourly rate of $15 per hour. We're going to, first off, we're going to write an equation for each job for her total earnings. Then we're going to fill in a table, and then we're going to graph both of these relations on the same axes. So from now on, I'm going to say Alliance Incorporated is just A, and Best Industries is just going to be B. So let's start with Alliance Industries here. And we want an equation between total earnings and number of hours. So this is going to be P equals something. Okay. Now for Alliance Industries, we've got two numbers here, $30 and an hourly rate of $10 per hour. So she gets that $30 no matter how long she works, how many hours she works. $30 right off the top. And then to this, we are going to add $10 for each hour. So 10 times the number of hours that she works. So there's our equation, T equals 30 plus 10 times H. Now what about for Best Industries? Best Industries here is an hourly rate of $15 per hour. So just an hourly rate, no signing bonus. What's its equation going to look like? It's going to be T equals something. Is there anything that she gets no matter how many hours she works? No, there isn't. Okay? There's only the hourly rate. So it's just going to be 15 times the number of hours, or 15H. Now we can use these equations to fill in our tables here. So let's say we want to go, let's see, we've got to pick some values for hours. So let's say 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours. If she works for Alliance and she works 0 hours, how much does she make? It's that $30. And then if she works 2 hours, she gets that $30 plus $10 for each hour. So that's another $20. So that would be $50. If she works 4 hours, she makes another $10 for the third hour, another $10 for the fourth hour. So that's up to $70. And now we can see the trend here. $90 and $110 if she works 8 hours. We can do our first differences by taking one number, subtracting the one above it. So 110 minus 90 gives us 20. 90 minus 70, 20. 70 minus 50, 20. 50 minus 30 is 20. So looking at these first differences, what do we know about our relationship here? Go ahead. Pardon me? Just so to know that you don't put anything in that box there. Okay? So we look at our first differences. These are all the same. What does that tell us about our relationship? It's going to be a linear relationship, absolutely. So now let's do the same thing for Best Industries here. We'll pick the same number of hours, and we'll fill in our table. Let's see. If she works 0 hours, she makes no money. She works 2 hours. 2 times 15 is 30. 4 times 15 is 60, 90, 120. And we can do our first differences as well. 30, 30, 30, and 30. Okay? 120 minus 90 is 30, and so on and so on. Okay? Now, referring back to the lesson that we did before, notice our first difference here is 20. This is going up by 2 every time. So our slope is going to be 20 divided by 2, or 10, which is our rate here. Over here for best industries, we're going up by 30 each time. Our hours are increasing by 2. If we do 30 divided by 2, we get 15, which is our 15 in our rate here in our equation. So now we want to graph these two lines. Okay. So the grid is already set up here. So all we have to do is transfer those numbers into points. And then we're going to want to connect these with straight lines. So I'm going to pause it right here while I do this. So I've plotted my two lines. I've got Alliance Industries in blue here, and I'm going to label it with an A so I remember that it refers to Alliance. And I'm going to label it at both ends. And I'm going to label Best Industries here with a B because it refers to Best Industries. And the big thing that we notice about these two lines is that they cross each other at one point. And the important part of these questions is figuring out what is the significance of this point where they cross. So the coordinates where they cross is, let's see, 6, 90. And the first question that we're asked on the back of this page is, what is the significance of the point 690? So the first thing is, this is the point where they intersect. Okay, that's the first thing. But what does this point 690 represent? What does the 6 represent and what does the 90 represent? Okay, the 6 is a number of hours worked. So that represents 6 hours. 90 is her total pay. So at this point, 690, if I flip back to the graphs, or flip back to the table, notice that her job at Alliance would pay her $90 for 6 hours worked. Her job at Best Industries would pay her $90 for 6 hours worked. All these other rows in the table aren't the same. Okay? If she works 8 hours for Alliance, she makes $110. If she works 8 hours for Best Industries, she makes $120. So this is the only point where, if she works the same number of hours at both jobs, she'll earn the same amount of money. So if she works 6 hours at either job, she makes the same amount. How much does she make? She would make $90. Okay? So if the jobs are going to take 6 hours, it doesn't matter which one she chooses because they both pay her the exact same amount of money. The second question here, which company should Lisa work for if she estimates that each of these jobs will take her 4 hours? Well, we can look at how much she'll get paid for each of these jobs if the jobs last 4 hours. And we can just look at this from the table. So looking at your table, how much does she get paid for 4 hours of work at Alliance? Well, let's go back to the table. We find 4 hours right here. And sure enough, she makes $70 for Alliance. We flip back to the table again. And for Best Industries, if she works 4 hours, she makes $60. So if she looks at these two jobs and figures that each of these jobs is going to take her 4 hours to complete, which one should she choose? Which one would you choose? Would you rather make $70 for 4 hours work, or would you rather make $60 for 4 hours work? What are you going to choose? I'm going to choose A, because she'll make more money. So let's say she will be paid more, or she will earn more with Alliance. Which company should Lisa work for if she estimates that each job will take 12 hours? Well, let's see. We could use our equations here to figure out how much she would make for 12 hours. Or we can look at the graph. Let's go back and look at our graph. 12 hours is right here. Okay? So if she's working 12 hours, which job pays her more for working those 12 hours? Well, which line is higher here? The B one is higher. It's paying her more money. And we can read this off the graph. It's paying her about $180, whereas A is only paying her about $150. So which company should she work for? Well, Best is going to pay her more money. Each job will take 12 hours. She will earn more with Best. So last question here. When should Lisa choose to work for Alliance, and when should she choose to work for Best? Okay, it's going to depend. Okay, and that's the answer here. It's going to depend on how many hours she thinks she's going to have to work. Because if we look at our graphs and we look at how much money she's going to make, for a small number of hours, closer to 0 here, Alliance pays her more than Best does. For a large number of hours, Best pays more than Alliance because its line is higher up. So here's how you answer this kind of question. What you say is, she should work for Best. Sorry, we'll say she should work for Alliance if she thinks the job will take fewer than 6 hours. Because 6 hours is that point where they both pay her the exact same amount. If she works less than 6 hours, Alliance pays more. So anytime she's working fewer than 6 hours, she should work for Alliance. She should choose Best Industries if she thinks the job will take more than 6 hours. Okay. This is a perfect answer to the question. What they want you to do in answering this question is find the point of intersection, 6 hours. Okay. Say which one is better on one side of the point of intersection. Say which one is better on the other side of the point of intersection. Okay. Making specific reference to where these two lines meet. And that brings us to the end of Unit 12.